Pedro.
Oh, he's got to get suspended.
Through the bat.
He's got to get suspended for that.
Barry Lyons wrestling Pedro away from Cone. That was a breaking ball.
It was a curveball, for crying out loud.
That was a curveball that Pedro really ducked into.
Oh, that is serious throwing that bat at that pitcher.
The game would get ugly in the top of the 7th inning. Danny Darwin and Pedro Guerrero exchanging words at first base. Darwin on with an infield hit, and Guerrero swings at Darwin, causing both benches to clear. That's umpires Charlie Williams and Mark Hirschbeck at the bottom of the pile as the teams continue to go at it. Both Guerrero and Darwin would be ejected from the game. It was reported that Guerrero went after Darwin, trying to get to him in the clubhouse, and had to be restrained by police. Howe would be ejected as well.
The Phillies happened in the top half of the 7th inning. Dempsey says Dykstra was unhappy at being called out on strikes in his previous at-bat that you see here, and the Philly center fielder was taking out his frustration on the home plate umpire Ron Barnes and Dempsey got up, he took off, and there we go. The bench is cleared, and as usually the case in baseball, free-for-alls, no one was hurt, but everybody had a lot of fun.
Stewart threw a pitch behind Julio Franco. They got Pat Corrales out to argue. Corrales and Stewart began to argue, and Corrales went down from a right cross from Stewart. Stewart knocked Corrales down. The bench was cleared, and the game was interrupted for about 10 minutes. Cleveland won at 9-0. After the game, Corrales explained his argument with the umpire.
Single off Xavier Hernandez. Pat Borders is going to come home. He's going to give Santiago the hard forearm. Bottom of the 6th, Astros up 3-1. That makes it 3-2.
4-1.
That is a developing deal here because Hernandez throws behind Brian Hunter. Hernandez is warned by Wendelstedt. Both benches are going to clear. Fracas, number 1. Borders and Gant single each other out, but the fight subsides. Top of the 7th, Gant at the plate. He and Borders have words. Gant goes after him. Both benches clear again. Fracas, number 2. Gant and Borders both thrown out after that one. So if you're scoring at home, we have 2 fracases so far. And
D-backs, Hernandez taken out, and he argues with home plate umpire Laz Diaz about how he called the game, and then he called him something you can't call him, and he says, well, you're out, but now you're really out. You can't even stay in the dugout and chew free gum.
Now the pitch. Swung on and blistered into right for a base hit. Brocious rounds third, heads for the plate. The throw by Burnett. He slides. He is out at the plate, and the Brewers win the game. And Brocious has gone crazy, and he's been thrown out of the game, which is already over.
That's a pretty succinct way of putting it. You see, this time Dale Ford sees it different. He calls Scott Brocious out at the plate, and then after the game gives the gate to Scott Brocious and Art Howe.
Adrian Beltre gets thrown behind now from Jensen Lewis. And he takes exception to that. They tried to get Ortiz last inning. They go after Beltre here in the 8th and miss, and this will bring the dugouts out here at Fenway Park. Just as he is pointing in the direction right out front and being held back now as they come together. Here we go.
It's going to be interesting now to see after they flush this out if the umpires are able to, after they see if the umpire's okay. Now, did he attempt the bunt or was he pulling back? We got more guys going.
Unless Bobby's still in the dugout.
I think it's Josh Beckett might be gone now.
And you're right.
2-0.
He's 55 years old now.
Bottom 6, Ortiz facing Mike Lowell. That's called a strike by home plate ump Tim Timmons, who hears it from Lowell. And then Lowell gets the gate. And he's going to get his money's worth now. Timmons had thrown Benito Santiago.
He thought that the ball was up. And it's a breaking ball, and he started chirping right away. And when the at-bat was done, and when he flew out, obviously he had some choice words for Bob Davidson.
A dejected Hamels leaves, and in comes Park. Cole Hamels comes off the mound and says, hey, where was that? Talking about that 2-strike curveball to Kevin Millar. He keeps it up. Carlson follows up and then throws him out of the ball game.
While we were away, this happened. David Freese is ejected by home plate umpire Marty Foster. He tosses him. He was at the dugout, and then he came out, and all we could see Freese. I was standing right here. It's kind of what Freese said. As David Freese gets tossed, or maybe saying something, or Foster thought he said something.
Well, now Clint Hurdle. Phil Cousy, you can hear him say, you know better than that. So Clint Hurdle, rarely does he even leave the dugout. David Freese might have been tossed. And apparently he said something. So the Pirates might have lost David Freese, and they may lose their manager here any minute from Phil Cousy.
Little number, front of the plate. It is a fair ball. And he's been ejected. Sandoval not only out, but now out of this game. Hirschbeck had hurt enough.
Vote you will indeed go get Bumgarner. Well, as we mentioned earlier, when Bumgarner departed, you wonder, well, what's he going to do with the home plate umpire, Jeremy Rayak, and they ended up getting kicked out of the game. And in order for Rayak to save face with his other umpires, he's got to do that.
Well, the entire complexion of this game has changed in just a few seconds after we went to break. Madison Bumgarner, you see Torey Lovullo right now, who was tossed last night, is between the home plate umpire, a young guy in Ryan Willis, and the crew chief, Adrian Gonzalez. Bumgarner coming off the mound, gesturing, and he was thrown out of the game.
The number 4 hitter, Soler.
And Jorge takes strike one. Boy, he has seen nothing but strikes from Kyle Gibson. The last time up, Soler struck out, and it was nothing but breaking balls. And now Soler has been thrown out of the game. He started arguing with the home plate umpire, and Soler really giving it to Hunter Wendelstedt. Now Ned Yost comes out to bark at Hunter, but Soler has been thrown out of the game.
Called strike 3, another one on an edge, and that's going to do it for Jorge Soler today. He gets thrown out by Bill Miller. And Skip Schumacher, who was ejected Monday night, now having words with another home plate umpire.